Arizona Wildlife Views, brought to you by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses and the Heritage Fund, lottery dollars working for wildlife. Some projects made possible by the Sportfish and Wildlife Restoration Fund.
Find birds. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildlife Views. I'm your host, Jim Harkin. The Arizona Game and Fish Department is tasked with a wide variety of responsibilities and services for the people and wildlife of our state. In our first story this evening, we give you an insider's look at the myriad of programs designed to help preserve Arizona's wild side. With stunning landscapes lush with native wildlife, Arizona boasts some of the nation's best outdoor recreational opportunities. Arizona is privileged to be home to some of the most unique wildlife and natural resources in the country, a leading attraction for incoming residents and tourists. The Arizona Game and Fish Department is tasked with conserving, enhancing, and restoring wildlife resources and habitats for present and future generations.
Come with us today and see the full scope and breadth of the conservation and outdoor recreation activities that the department administers in stewardship and trust to the people of Arizona.
A large part of the department's responsibilities center on the future of Arizona's wildlife through conservation, both for game and non-game species. More than 900 species call our state home, the highest diversity of any inland state. Many of those species undergo active management to ensure their presence for years to come. The department's work with non-game, threatened, and endangered species has led to many successes. The bald eagle, our national symbol of patriotism and freedom, who graces our skies, has experienced a 400% population growth over the past 30 years, thanks to a comprehensive management program. Seasonal breeding closures, a nest watch program, and banding for visual identification are some of the many ways department biologists help protect this important raptor. Once nearing extinction, the native Apache trout is a true wildlife success story. Found nowhere else in the world, this state fish has been restored to much of their historic range, to a point that now allows angling opportunities. Endangered Sonoran pronghorn grace the state's desert grasslands as an iconic southwestern species. But earlier this century, due to drought, their numbers dropped perilously low to 21 animals. Despite a strong comeback, aggressive management continues as increased border protection and fencing poses challenges for this species' survival. Arizona is privileged to be home to one of 3 populations in the world of the largest flying land bird in North America, the California condor. After being extirpated from the state in the 1920s, the department reintroduced these magnificent raptors through a cooperative partnership. Implementation of a voluntary non-lead ammunition and hunter outreach program is enhancing recovery efforts, and Arizona is now home to more than 80 birds. Arizona offers some of the best game hunting in the United States, with hunters traveling far and wide to enjoy our bountiful hunt opportunities. Bighorn sheep suffered large declines a century ago, But populations are improving thanks in large part to habitat enhancements and an effective translocation program that moves sheep from large, stable populations to smaller populations in an effort to promote growth. Translocation has also benefited the Gould's turkey. At one time, they had vanished from Arizona, but thanks to a multi-partner reintroduction effort, Gould's turkeys, one of 3 wild turkey subspecies in our state, are making a comeback in southern Arizona. Eliminated from the state's landscape in the late 1800s, elk now thrive from the department's reintroduction and active management efforts. An average of over 100,000 hunters test their luck annually to be drawn for a coveted elk hunt tag. But the department's efforts don't just involve land species. The Lake Havasu Fisheries Improvement Project is a partner effort to improve fish survival and spawning to provide for better sport fishing at Lake Havasu. The increased fishing activity results in millions of dollars annually in economic impact. And if the anglers can't get to the fish, we bring the fish to them. Arizona's nationally recognized urban fishing program is a partnership with the Game and Fish Department and 11 local parks departments in the Tucson, Phoenix, and Payson areas. Providing convenient, accessible, and affordable fishing opportunities in urban neighborhoods is accomplished through the stocking of ready-to-catch fish every 2 weeks over a 10-month period from September through June. Arizona's growing human population and the resulting development creates a significant challenge for the Game and Fish Department. How to maintain wildlife connectivity or linkages between populations and critical habitat. Emphasis is being placed on developing wildlife conservation maps and other tools to assist planners, developers, and transportation agencies in the early phases of urban development planning. A perfect example of the department's partnership work in this area can be seen along State Route 260 outside of Payson and Highway 93 near Kingman. Biologists worked with transportation engineers and planners to integrate wildlife-friendly overpasses and underpasses in roadway improvement projects. The future of Arizona's wildlife may depend on partnering with planners, engineers, and developers to ensure that wildlife can move between fragmented habitat. As development occurs throughout our state, preserving wildlife areas is becoming more important for both wildlife and public enjoyment. The department works with partners throughout the state to secure and protect habitat for wildlife species, as well as increase recreational opportunities for residents and visitors to our state. Habitat improvement of these wildlife areas also plays a significant role in maintaining healthy populations. The department's efforts to restore habitat and develop more than 1,000 water tanks statewide have opened up millions of acres, not only benefiting wildlife, but also rural communities and landowners. The department has partnered with several groups for landscape scale improvements which cover thousands of acres. A perfect example is within Unit 27. Overall efforts have included various treatments, including juniper bush renovations, fire prescriptions, thinning, and reseeding that have enhanced browsing for wildlife species and have lessened the catastrophic fire potential in the threatened areas. The synergy provided by combining the support and funding of the partners with the state legislature and the Game and Fish Department have made these successes possible. In addition to these large landscape projects, the department also assists the individual landowner through the Landowner Relations Program. While only 18% of Arizona is private property, these areas represent important wildlife habitat areas and corridors. It is important that the department strives to enhance and maintain positive relationships with landowners and assist them with technical and financial support in order to foster a growing land ethic and conserve wildlife and open spaces for future generations. It's a win-win for the landowner and the people of Arizona. Despite Arizona's desert environment, sport fishing on one of our state's many lakes is a popular recreational activity for many individuals and families. The department operates 6 hatcheries that help recover native fish species and produce fish for stocking lakes throughout the state. While the Arizona Game and Fish Department leads wildlife conservation efforts in the state, hunters and anglers play a key role in supporting conservation. They are the cornerstones of the North American model of conservation, a plan that strives to sustain wildlife species and habitats through sound science and active management. In the world's most successful wildlife management model, and the model that Arizona follows, hunting and angling provide the primary source of funding for conservation. Nearly 160,000 hunters and more than 420,000 anglers in Arizona have contributed to the protection of our state's diverse wildlife species for all to enjoy. Wildlife conservation doesn't just serve an important recreational role. It also impacts Arizona's economy. More than 1.5 million Arizona citizens participated in wildlife-related outdoor recreation, with $838 million spent on wildlife viewing activities in 2006. This resulted in a contribution of more than $68 million in state taxes and supported more than 21,000 jobs throughout Arizona. As leading conservationists, hunters and anglers provided in excess of $1.3 billion in revenue to our state. Unlike most other state agencies, the Arizona Game and Fish Department is self-funded and does not receive any monies from the state's general fund. As a user-play, user-pay agency, the department supports its management activities through hunting and fishing license, permit and stamp sales, and watercraft registrations, among other things. Other major sources of funding come from the Heritage Fund, a voter-approved initiative to further conservation in the state through money from lottery sales, and the Wildlife Conservation Fund, supported by Indian gaming revenue. Serving the public is a top priority for the department. 7 offices spread throughout the state provide customers with personalized service, while on-the-ground law enforcement support comes from the agency's wildlife managers. These peace officers work statewide to protect Arizona's public resources by enforcing wildlife, off-highway vehicle, and watercraft laws. They also conduct valuable education courses and free public presentations on various wildlife and outdoor recreation. The future of wildlife depends on promoting awareness and stewardship among children and families about the important role that each species plays in Arizona.
I wouldn't call any of them dangerous to humans. We're more dangerous to them.
Every year, the department's award-winning environmental education program, Focus Wild Arizona, reaches out to thousands of both public school children and homeschool families by providing free in-classroom presentations, lesson plans for K-12 teachers, and field trips to observe and assist biologists at work.
You are dealing with firearms, so...
The department's efforts to increase awareness and appreciation of the state's wildlife treasures and outdoor recreation extend beyond school children. Through its involvement in expos, clinics, and camps throughout the state, Game and Fish offers free introduction to outdoor recreation to members of the public that have limited experience with Arizona's outdoor opportunities. Urban fishing clinics introduce children and adults to exciting angling opportunities that can be found close to home. And small game camps teach the skills necessary to successfully and safely pursue the variety of small game found in Arizona. The department has also provided hands-on activities, demonstrations, and workshops on hunting, archery, fishing, wildlife conservation, shooting sports, off-highway vehicle, and watercraft recreation to more than 26,000 people at its annual Outdoor Expo in 2008. With nearly 1.3 million people participating in wildlife watching activities in Arizona, wildlife viewing is becoming an increasingly popular outdoor activity. Across the state, family-friendly wildlife viewing workshops are held for the public to view and learn more about the state's native wildlife. Workshops include tracking wolves in northern Arizona, viewing a bat roost in urban Phoenix, hearing bull elk bugle in the breeding season, and observing bald eagles during their winter migration. Arizona Game and Fish also sponsors the highly successful Scholastic Clay Target program in our state. The team-based youth development program uses the shotgun sports to instill discipline, safety, teamwork, ethics, self-confidence, and other life values in hundreds of children every year. Many of the department's outreach opportunities and management efforts would not be possible without the support of volunteers. Game and Fish's volunteer program is designed to help department personnel accomplish their duties while providing the public with the chance to participate firsthand in managing Arizona's wildlife resources. Opportunities include wildlife care and rehabilitation, habitat restoration and cleanup projects, and assisting with education courses on boating, firearm safety, and fishing. Along with wildlife conservation, the Arizona Game and Fish Department also manages off-highway vehicle and watercraft recreation in our state. The number of off-highway vehicles, or OHVs, and OHV users in Arizona has skyrocketed by more than 360% over the past decade, increasing the need to minimize the impact on wildlife and their habitat while supporting recreational OHV use. Through the department's Nature Rules, Stay on Roads and Trails campaign, users are reminded that the desert provides important habitat that needs to be protected. New OHV laws that went into effect in 2009 will support Game and Fish's law enforcement efforts to administer OHV laws and new educational programs. Tucked amongst Arizona's landscape are many exceptional lakes and watercraft recreation opportunities to provide welcome summertime relief. The Arizona Game and Fish Department provides watercraft registration services to owners, education courses, and law enforcement support statewide. The watercraft program focuses its outreach and educational efforts on boat safe, boat smart, boat sober to promote safe boating in Arizona. While the department has made tremendous strides in its efforts to conserve the state's wildlife resources, challenges lie ahead. Arizona's population growth and the resulting development will continue to create challenges for biologists trying to maintain healthy wildlife populations and preserve critical habitat. Keeping present and future generations engaged in outdoor recreation in a fast-paced, technologically driven world will place increased demands on education and outreach efforts. Invasive species continue to move into our state, threatening our wildlife and natural areas and necessitating action. These new challenges and increased responsibilities have the potential to outpace funding, leaving the department to find new sources of funding while maintaining current monies. Where would Arizona be without the management efforts of the Arizona Game and Fish Department and their valuable partners? What would our natural landscapes look like without herds of bighorn sheep high on the mountain cliff, or antelope grazing the grasslands, or bald eagles soaring high overhead? Each wildlife species plays a critical role in the natural environment. If even one vanishes from our state, the entire balance is disrupted and future generations lose an opportunity. While other states and countries struggle to conserve what little they have left, Arizona is leading the effort to preserve the diversity of native wildlife that we do have.
Wildlife and wildlife conservation are facing challenges beyond what we've ever seen before. It's really going to take a bigger tent of people coming together, hunters, fishers, and people that just enjoy using nature and seeing wildlife, all coming together to ensure the future of our wildlife resource in Arizona.
The Arizona Game and Fish Department Adopt a Ranch program is a program that's good for both ranchers and wildlife. In our next story, we take you up to the Ash Creek Ranch near Prescott, where volunteers are making it a lot easier to get around for pronghorn antelope. Sunrise came early for the folks camped out near Ash Creek Ranch. They are all volunteers here to help ranch owner Gary Mortimer turn an old wildlife barrier into a wildlife-friendly crossing.
This is our first project on the Ash Creek Ranch. This is the owner, Gary Mortimer.
Thank you everyone for coming. Appreciate it.
He's got about 25,000 acres here, and along with the quarter horses and the Angus cattle, a lot of wildlife uses habitat as well.
This effort is all part of the Arizona Game and Fish Department's Adopt a Ranch program. The program began in 1992 and is patterned after the Department of Transportation's Adopt a Highway program. Almost 30 projects are completed each year that help maintain access to about 2 million acres of land.
In the Adopt a Ranch program, volunteer groups work together with the department and ranchers to do various projects like this. This week it's the Arizona Antelope Foundation helping Ash Creek Ranch. This is our first project on this ranch. Not only helping the wildlife and the habitat here, but we're also improving relations between sportsmen and the public and the ranchers. It helps maintain public access on the ranches.
The Arizona Antelope Foundation is the group that has adopted the Ash Creek Ranch. By replacing the old sheet box wire fencing with wildlife-friendly fencing, it will make it much easier for the pronghorn antelope who call this area home to travel from one place to another.
We came out with some Boy Scouts here on the beautiful Ash Creek Ranch to modify some sheep fence to make it more antelope friendly. We've removed bales and bales of sheep fence wire. We're restringing it with antelope-friendly wire, smooth wire on the bottom, approximately 20 to 22 inches off the ground, so the antelope can travel because they don't jump fence. So it makes it much easier for the antelope to get from one pasture to another if the fence is friendly for them.
I'm with Troop 1 Boy Scouts, and I need some service projects, and I like volunteering to help out with like wildlife and stuff.
The Ash Creek Ranch raises Angus cattle and quarter horses, but ranch owner Gary Mortimer also feels a responsibility to the wildlife that share this land.
Well, it's very important to us. We are stewards of this land. We ranch on about 25,000 acres of private and national forest, and being able to enhance the wildlife population on this ranch is just very important to us, and economically it's really hard to do these projects without a little bit of outside help, so this has really been beneficial for us.
Once all the box wire is removed, the tedious process of putting up the new 3-strand fence begins. First, you have to pound new fence stakes into the ground. Then you start rolling out miles and miles of new smooth wire, 4 miles worth to be exact.
The members of the Arizona Antelope Foundation are dedicated to habitat improvement for our species, the North American pronghorn. The ranchers of old fenced off a lot of pasture, and it isolated a lot of herds. And so through our dedicated members, we modify these fences to make them more antelope friendly.
With more than 65 volunteers coming out to assist on this project, they were able to get all the work done in a single weekend. If rancher Mortimer had tried to do it himself, it would have taken a lot longer.
Well, I just think it's fantastic to get this many volunteers. I'm very impressed with the turnout that we've had, and just a great group of people that we're able to get to know and find some common interest and talk to each other about different things, and it's just been an enjoyable day.
In our continuing series on sporting dogs, we introduce you to the Brittany, a versatile pooch. He's as at home in the field as he is in the house.
Brittany is the smallest pointing breed. They used to be called Brittany Spaniels, but in the early 1980s they dropped the Spaniel because they really don't flush like typical Spaniels do. They point, so they are now just called Brittany's. They're bird dogs. So they can hunt pheasant, chukar, quail, a variety of different types of birds. And they really are a very energetic dog, but they're very calm for the most part in the house, and they make wonderful family pets. But they are an energetic dog, so as long as they're exercised properly or live with an active family, they should do very well. They are not a dog that you would keep out by themselves in a backyard. They really are a dog that is a companion and wants to be a member of the family, and that's how they do best, as being a part of someone else, as a team and as a companion dog.
And that's our show for this evening. If you have questions about anything you saw on the show, go to our website at azgfd.gov. On behalf of producers Carol Lind and Gary Schaefer, I'm your host, Jim Harkin. Thanks for watching.